Today's question comes from Lindsay in Albuquerque. We have $10,000 beyond our 6 months emergency savings, and we want to use that to help pay down our mortgage because we have no other debt. But with inflation, we partly feel the need to keep it in case inflation gets worse. Should we save it or put it towards the mortgage? Thanks so much. You have inspired us to live like no one else. It's a great question. I mean, inflation just came out to 9.1% in June. It went up higher than they were even expecting and predicting. So it is something obviously that's affecting all of us. We were laughing about the gas earlier, but groceries, I mean, all of it, the everyday necessities, it's just gone up and everyone's feeling it. And so I don't think it's enough to not continue on the baby steps. Because Lindsay, if you guys have an emergency fund in place, it may just mean adjusting your monthly budget, which is not always fun and exciting, but where you are today, I would do that and continue to pay off the mortgage, because becoming debt free and not having a mortgage payment is going to free up more monthly to put towards that inflation and towards your budget, to all your monthly expenses. So I would continue to put that $10,000 towards your mortgage because you have an emergency fund.
Very good. Here's the thing. The $10,000, anytime you have an ongoing chronic event, it's not a singular event, it's going to keep going. And you want to offset that with a lump sum, that is always a recipe for mathematical suicide. Because you're going to burn the lump sum and then you're screwed because you never made any changes to adjust to the situation.
Yeah.
Okay, so example of that is, we saved up $20,000. My wife wanted to quit and come home, and that $20,000 is going to make it okay to not have her income. No, it's not. Because if you're burning through the $20,000 because your spending was at a level higher than his income while she comes home, when you burn through the $20,000, you're screwed.
Yep.
So that's a chronic, ongoing, serial event, which is her income goes away permanently. Monthly, we are underwater because we made no changes, and the lump sum made it feel better until the lump sum's gone.
Right.
And that's the exact same thing here.
Okay, let's talk about inflation for a second, can we? Because it continues to rise.
Mm-hmm.
And what are you seeing when you're looking out? It's like, okay, because what causes inflation? We say around here supply and demand, and we can talk about that more. But there's a lot of people pointing fingers, a lot of different directions. Biden saying, well, the war in Iraq, and then I'm sorry, not the war in Ukraine, and Russia's causing it. People are saying, well, the Fed runs in the interest. I mean, there's fingers pointing everywhere of what's causing inflation, and it continues to rise. It's not like we're seeing it.
Yeah, I
subside.
My personal opinion is that's a lagging indicator, the CPI, that it's not. I mean, this time next year we're not going to be at 9%. I really don't believe it. I predicted that we were going to be here now a year ago.
You did, which was
and I don't think we'll be here now a year from now.
It'll be better.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot better. And here's why. There's three major components to this inflation. It is not a white-hot economy that caused the inflation. In the 70s, we had a white-hot, overheated economy, and it drove things crazy. COVID, by and large, the pandemic, the economic suppression, when we shut down the world, we left entire gaps in supply. Factories weren't making cars. Factories weren't making lumber. Services weren't being provided. So we left these huge gaps. And so we ended up with shortages in everything. Okay, and we had supply chain problems, we started calling it, because we couldn't get stuff off the ocean. It was sitting in the bay at LA and that kind of stuff. So all of those shortages, anytime there's a shortage of something, it runs the price up. Now, that's smoothing out. Okay, for instance, lumber went up triple. It was running about $500 a board foot, and then it went to $1,700 a board foot. It went up triple, and now it's back to about $480 a board foot right now. Okay, so it's the factories caught up to the supply, caught up to the demand, and the price came back and normalized. Same is happening with cars. Used cars, for the first time in the history of mankind, went up. They went up. And the reason they went up was there was no new cars.
Right.
And once new cars started hitting the lots again, the factory started emptying the car containers right there on the lot. Boom, 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 boom. They start lining up on the lot. Now you got new cars, so again, that's absorbing some of the demand. There's more supply, so used cars are coming back down. and they're going to start going down again like they used to.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're seeing that part of the inflation go away, but it's not all gone yet, and it's still a component.
When it's going up.
It's still a component of that nine.
Okay.
The CPI is the Consumer Price Index.
Okay.
That is the measure of inflation, and that's the measure of goods and services, and they've got it weighted, meaning that the things that you spend the most on have the bigger portion of creating that 9%. Okay, so the things that you spend the least on, actual dollars. Okay, so for example, housing is an element of the CPI. Well, obviously, in all of our budgets, most people's budgets that have a house payment, housing is the biggest line item in your budget. So it's the biggest portion. So as long as housing is going up, your CPI is going to go up. So housing goes up a little, bread and milk and meat,
eggs and cheese and crackers
and all that stuff.
Everything.
But look at the number of dollars you spend on
cheese.
that versus the number of dollars you spend on housing.
Right.
If that goes way down and housing goes up, you're still going to see inflation.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
But if housing goes down and
housing values, prices.
the prices go down, the values go down, and milk and bread doubles, you might not even see inflation because the house price going down might.
So the housing market has caused all this
it
inflation.
Drives a lot of it, is what I'm saying.
Okay.
And energy's the other one.
Energy.
The cost at the pump. That's what's killing us, and that one is a political issue. That's not an economic issue. That was created by Biden shutting it off to go green. And when he did that, created a tremendous shortage, and it's doubled our gas prices.